Welcome to Single Tree Nation. I'm your man, Charlie Eblin, the host and owner of Single Tree Woodfire Barbecue. We are here to build community through undeniable hospitality, storytelling, and the perfect plate of barbecue. Welcome back to Single Tree Nation, guys. I'm your man, Charlie Eblin, and as always, our illustrious co-host, Mr. Derry Wells.
What is up, everybody?
Oh, man.
I need everyone to know that the almost laughter from the intro is never canned. That it is not forced. It is 100% natural.
Yeah.
Every time.
It is perfect every time. So,
I mean, the show started 20 minutes ago.
It should have.
Like, we really, Trent just really needs to get here at 4 and just hit record.
Turn the cameras on. We'll figure it out.
How many times have we said this?
We just go.
I think it's on me. I think that's my responsibility.
Like when you see two hats at the door, just hit the red button and
just go. And just go, because there's no telling.
That's facts.
The world of editing, happen. We can take out the crap. We need to. So,
hey, look.
You got a mouse in your pocket?
You just got back from vacation?
I did.
I had an epic weekend.
Is that what you're going to describe it as?
That's the way I'm going to describe it.
I heard about your, and I quote, barbecue. Now, I was in the middle of telling you about the little hole in the wall Mexican joint we found.
Yeah, so what was the name? Because you went to Gatlinburg.
I couldn't tell you what it was called. It was Mexican food. That's all I knew. I could look it up probably. I know the location.
Okay.
But
in Gatlinburg.
In Gatlinburg. Right by traffic light number 3.
All right. Well, traffic number 3 Mexican joint.
Go there. It was so good. And I was telling you about the dish I got. It was called the Burrito Mexicano. And it had the green sauce, the cheese sauce, the red sauce. So it looked like the Mexican flag. My 12-year-old daughter recognized it immediately, right? So she knew Mexican flag. I was like, oh, genius. So anyway, it was cooked to perfection. But here's the guacamole. I will judge a Mexican restaurant by their guacamole. I don't know what 83-year-old Hispanic lady they had in the back making that stuff fresh.
So are you speaking factual data?
No,
or is this
I'm
presumed?
not. That's how it tasted, and it was perfect. It was so good.
This is a recipe been handed down.
It's never been written. It's only been mentioned, and she's got it. And so, it was the perfect
amount of spice,
everything,
salt, everything.
100%.
Okay.
So it was just a great restaurant.
Now we're going to go down a guacamole hole. So
why'd that get him?
I don't know, but it got him good, didn't it?
He flung back in the seat.
He turned red instantly.
His glasses off, like, man.
What?
That's the title of this episode.
Going down a guacamole hole. So, what day did you go eat Mexican? Please tell me it was Saturday.
It was Thursday or Friday. I don't recall.
Okay. All right. So I ate Mexican on Saturday.
Okay.
We had a baseball tournament Saturday morning in Tullahoma, and Saturday afternoon it came a flood. So we no longer had baseball.
All right. Okay. Baseball was done for the weekend.
Baseball turned into Olympic swimming because it was a feat getting out of there. But we went and had Mexican. Have you ever had Margarita House in Smyrna?
No. Man,
if you got
it's good.
Get the wife, go.
You don't have to convince me. That's fine.
It's out of all of the Mexican places that we have in and around Murfreesboro, it's one of my tops. Like it's.
Have you had Carmen's?
Good. Not a lot, but I've had some of their food.
Because if you say that statement, I'm going to judge off Carmen's.
Carmen's is really good.
It is.
It is really good.
Cinco.
I will tell you.
Sorry.
I think Margarita House is better.
I love Cinco.
Cinco's good, but I think Margarita House is better. So I judge Mexican food on multiple things, but one is creativity and and two is like complexity of flavor.
Sure.
Like, because I think authentic Mexican food has a very extensive depth of flavor, right? It doesn't always have to be spicy, but can have tons of different spices.
Right.
Well, this weekend I just happened to judge them off of margaritas.
Fair enough.
Was that because that's all you had?
That's one of my criteria for sure.
And when I say Ritas,
Plural. That's plural.
Heavy on the S?
there was, yes. Now, I only had 2
Oh, okay. Well, you're fine then.
pitchers.
Oh, wow. Okay. Stepped in that one.
Opened the door right up for me, didn't you?
Yeah, sure, I bet.
Yeah. But they have a burrito there as well.
Okay.
And it is a fajita. I think it's a fajita burrito. I think is what they call it.
Oh, that sounds good.
But they fill that thing with. I always get the chicken one, so it's like eating fajitas just inside of a burrito, and then they douse a whole bunch of cheese sauce over the top of it.
Yeah.
And then they have a spicy chili sauce that goes on another burrito, and I take it off of that burrito and I put it on my fajita burrito, and it has like everything you could want
That sounds amazing.
in a burrito all at once. Oh, it's heaven.
Man.
It's wonderful. That coupled with a couple of margaritas.
Yeah. You right there, huh?
Life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah. Don't be like me and have the pitchers.
Plural.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to offend somebody. Never had a margarita.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
Wow. On purpose?
No, just
Okay.
I will tell you. I start with not a fan of tequila.
Okay.
That is the devil's playground, and
Yeah,
it pool.
Yeah. He said hi to me
Yeah,
Saturday.
I can't stand that stuff.
He actually said hi to me twice.
I don't. It's even the smell for me gets me. Like, it is just an awful product in my world. I'm not hating. I've had some really good ones. Like, I just not a fan of it for whatever reason.
Is that your one hangover?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. That one is off of apple cider moonshine.
Okay.
Or apple pie. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I
That?
do.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Okay.
So
That's wild. You
Yeah.
just don't like it's
it's just not
that's wild.
my cup of tea. And my wife likes it. The cheaper, the
Moonshine?
better.
Really?
No, tequila.
Tequila?
No, the cheaper, the better for her.
Oh, Really? wow.
If it's over $10, she's gonna get upset. Like that
Really?
bottle is
That's
gross.
so
Go
awesome.
cheaper. Yeah, she is, and she is a fan. And I'm like, I don't know who hurt you, but I'm sorry. And like, it is like,
That is hilarious.
That's the best line I've heard all day. I don't know who hurt you, but I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's funny.
Oh man, yeah. I'm not. So I've had a sampling of one. I've had. I think the only one I've ever had is the a mango, maybe, but like a true straight up. And I've never completed like the whole drink. It's just like somebody.
Now,
said,
I'm
"Here."
not a huge fan of like flavored margaritas.
Right. But I've never had a straight up whole margarita.
Yeah, I don't
especially
really
a
like
classic.
frozen margaritas. I typically like what's called a Texas margarita.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're fancy, huh?
But yeah, I'm fancy. It just has like you put a little Grand Marnier in it,
Yeah.
like a little float, just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Orange-
So it has a
little
little
orange something.
little orange citrus kind of. So you take that with the lemon lime and the salt, and
Talk dirty.
it just it makes
Trent
you
now has plans after the podcast.
yeah, it makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
You forgot to start your timer today, so I flipped mine open to start mine. Apparently, I started a long time ago.
Yeah.
Is it 10 years ago or something?
Maybe.
How long was that?
We are looking at 7,199 hours, 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
You did it again?
Have I done this before?
Yeah. So is that I think that was the last time you started your timer, and you just never turned it off.
I want to know what 7,199 hours is.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you got.
We need a calculator.
I hate that this is twice. I forgot the first one.
That's
Now I
outstanding.
can't restart it.
How many?
7,199 hours.
And just call it 7,200 hours for simple math. Divide that by 24.
Is how many days? There we go. Oh, it's only 3 days, so not that bad.
No. 7,200?
Oh, 7,200.
Yeah,
Not
100.
72 hours.
Oh, 7,200.
I can do that math in my head.
7,199 divided by 24.
300 days.
So it's almost a year ago.
Good
It's the
job.
same one. You still haven't
It's the
stopped.
same
I refuse to close it now. All right.
Just let it.
See. All right, anybody want to make a wager on when Derry's going to restart his timer next?
I won't. I want to do the actual day now. I want to do the math. Not you. I don't expect. I'll figure it out.
So I leave the Mexican joint this weekend.
Yeah.
And we go to some friends of ours. And then let's just say I can't tell you the last time I was in that good a mood.
Is that code word?
Yeah, that's code words. Yes. For children that might be listening.
I don't know your wife very well. This is absolutely one of those times when I wish I did, and I want to be like, look, when Charlie's in a good mood, I need you to text me, please.
Yeah.
I just need a heads up text. Charlie's feeling it. I'll take care of the rest. Like,
So look, I'll put it to you this way. I haven't talked to Haystack in
you just fired off random texts.
it gets better.
Oh man.
So
Let's
I haven't talked to him in I don't know 15 years. Like it's been probably not that long,
Right.
But it's been forever ago.
Longer than my timer.
Yes,
barely.
just barely. And I'm texting him in the middle of the night, trying to get him to come where we're at because somebody didn't believe that I was friends with him.
That's hysterical.
So much so that somebody else that was with us actually knew him. And they texted him, same thing I was doing, but they stayed up a lot later than I did. He came over the next day to hang out.
Oh, man. Did you miss it?
And they were texting me to come back to the party
That's hilarious.
the whole next day.
That's hilarious.
That's
It was
great.
pretty funny.
But you was having good barbecue, so you couldn't go.
The next day, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was having amazing barbecue. We won't disclose where I
We'll
was.
protect the guilty.
If you don't know how to cook brisket, don't.
Just don't.
Just don't. It's okay. If you have a barbecue joint and you don't sell brisket, it's fine.
If you have an operational business,
Yes.
and you don't
yes.
know how to,
If you're trying to learn and
Right.
you're cooking for your family, please do.
Enjoy.
Call me. I'll help you.
Right.
Like I'm good with that. You come to the restaurant. We'll have a class. But
would you do that? Would you offer a class in that?
I've actually thought about doing a class this summer.
Okay. And the only I have some friends of mine who have asked numerous times, "Hey, would you ever teach like a woodworking class? Some basics, this and that kind of stuff, whatever." And to me, woodworking is one of those things, like, it's so vast, I wouldn't even hardly know where to start. But like for you though, like it's basics, and I'm not trying to oversimplify it. Trim it, season it, cook it slow, wrap it, cook it some more, let it rest, enjoy.
And that's what and essentially what the class is it's giving you time to ask those questions.
Right.
You know, we're trimming one. I show you how to trim one. You ask a whole bunch of questions. You know, we start a fire. You know, we season it. We put it on. The problem with doing a full on brisket class, to do it properly, one, you have to have one already cooked, and then two, you have to have people there long enough till you get to the wrap.
Right.
So then they can see the full process. And and you got to have another one coming off when you're wrapping that one.
Right. So you have a class of 10. You have 10 briskets towards the end, 10 briskets in the middle that are approaching the wrap, and 10 that you're starting fresh for the people to practice on.
From a classroom standpoint, if I was going to do a class, I would have one that's done. I'd cook it the day before and let it rest in the sham. And then I would start another one that morning super, super early.
Right.
And then by the time the class started, one of the first things we would do is wrap a brisket.
Right.
So then by the time the class was ending, you would have that one coming off the smoker that you could probe and people could see, okay, hey, this is what it should feel like.
Right.
What temperature, what it looks like, all those things. And then that one goes in the sham. And then you have another one, that one you cooked yesterday, you pull it out.
Now we're slicing.
And we're taking that one and we're slicing and tasting and seeing what it's supposed to look like once it's rested. And then the ones we trim, those would be used for the next day. You know, wrap them up tight so they don't get a whole bunch.
So you got free labor built in. Excellent. All right.
And you charge for it. Right? There's a model to all of this. Yeah. So, but it's you know, I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I just never have. So
There you go.
Yeah.
But yes, to our credit.
Before you go, let's take a quick break.
Let's take a quick break.
And then we'll come right back. What's going on, guys? I'm your man, Charlie Eblin, the owner of Single Tree Barbecue, located right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 2805 Old Fort Parkway. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 until 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 11 to 3. If you want some smoked wings all the way to some Texas-style smoked brisket, y'all come see us. We have some amazing lunch specials during the week and outstanding barbecue right here in the Middle Tennessee area. We can't wait to see you guys. Welcome back, guys.
Was it my gunslinger did that get you out of the car?
Yeah. I saw the guns come out. It kind of threw me off. But all right, so we've talked about some margaritas and
Guacamole holes.
some guacamole holes, and
We went down the guacamole hole. That's what we did.
oh yeah, we went down the guacamole hole. We're not talking. What exactly would be a guacamole hole?
That's what got me.
Would that be the pit?
Sure.
I mean, it is a
just stopping
guacamole
there.
hole.
Just sure. That is. That is it.
I don't know why that's so
Well, I mean, next week we have the taco shop on. Maybe
Yeah.
we ask them.
guacamole holes.
Do it. I don't know.
Have you been to the taco shop
I
yet?
have not.
Bro, okay, so before next week.
Here, you know, whenever we ask, hey, have you been XYZ places? I find that A, I'm a creature of habit. I go to the things that are in my area of town, you know, that kind of thing. But B, I also realize just how many places this town has.
It's crazy.
Like, and I'm not saying that there aren't towns with more restaurants. It really does feel like sometimes we have too many per capita. Like, it just
Me and my wife went to dinner last night, and we tried a place for the first time last night.
Right.
And I'm trying to be politically correct.
That's hard to do this day and age.
Yeah, it's tough. So before we went, we looked at multiple places that we haven't been yet. Some of them were a higher check average than we wanted to spend on a Tuesday night on a whim. Some of them weren't open. It's shocking to me how many locally owned restaurants are not open on Tuesday. Like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they're closed. They're only open 4 days a week. It's shocking. We went through 4 or 5 different restaurants we were going to go to, but not the point. Anyway, so, yeah, but we went to a place last night and had dinner, and it wasn't what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But looking through all the local places, because we don't like really going to commercial restaurants anymore. We like going local spots, and it's amazing. I will tell you that next week we have the taco shop on. husband and wife team, started this place in a convenience store. It is phenomenal. Never had anything not amazing there.
Really?
They have
Can't wait.
a birria pizza that is off the charts good. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So before next week,
I'll use by.
check it out.
I like the local flair of stuff too. So I mean, it just is. You can get a chain. We were talking about. I don't want to, like when I'm on vacation, when I travel anywhere, I don't want to eat somewhere I can eat back home.
Yeah.
I don't even want to eat somewhere I can travel. Great example. I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a Joe's Crab Shack in Franklin. I assume it's still there. Don't know, but in somewhere on the strip in Pigeon Forge, you can eat Joe's Crab Shack.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Joe's Crab Shack. I can do that close enough to home.
Yeah.
I want the place that I can't go, the place that I may never have the opportunity to eat at again. Mm-hmm. And those where I find some of those, the best stories, the best whatever. For example, this cracked me up. There's a salt and pepper shaker museum in Gatlinburg. And I was like, really? $3 to get in? But they turn around, they do give you $3 off if you buy anything. I was like, is that still working? But anyway, so
how's that working out for
right,
you?
yeah. So you walk through it, they got 20,000 plus salt and pepper shakers. Very well organized. It's quiet. They got the little video reel playing. It's cool. Cool. Anyway, what got me with it was when you get toward the back in the middle of it, there's an article. And it got started because mom was collecting them. Dad finally he's like, look, you got to figure out something to do. And they were living in Texas, I believe, at the time. And she's like, we're going to open up a salt and pepper shaker museum. Let's go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And they just up and move to open this museum. Now they got a second location in Spain. You don't know
Spain?
Right, exactly. In Spain. You don't know any of this if you're not reading that little thing, right? Like we just walked in there on a whim.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of place, it was not our destination, right? It's close by. Excuse me. And so those are the kind of stories I like. And so when it comes to the restaurant world, going to a chain place, you're never going to get that. You're never going to see the person who, came up with this or that, whatever. So it's just kind of, I love that aspect when you get away from the local.
You bring up not going to chains and stories. And I believe we both have some stories about local places. Maybe you've already said yours from our notes, but I went to a place last week.
Right.
Was it last week I was texting you about it?
Yes, it was.
And I asked these people at the counter, and I'm not going to name names, but I asked the people at the counter, hey, are you locally owned? Yeah, I think so. How do you not know? Like you
How
worked
do
there.
you not? Can I read the text you sent me?
Yeah.
And I'll protect the innocent. Just walked into blank here in town to get one, to pick one up. Asked the lady up front, are you guys locally owned? I believe so. Great. I asked because I have a podcast. We'd love to have them on the show. Okay, your total is $12.93. Do you know who the owner is? Yep. Have a great day. What?
That was, I mean, that is literally, I'm sitting in the parking lot typing that to you. Like, that's how dumbfounded I was. And like, I got to make sure I get this exactly right because nobody's ever going to believe the story that I'm telling.
Do you know the owner? Yes. Have a good day. It's just,
And it was that quick.
you hold up the line, man.
There wasn't a comma in between yes and have a great day. It was all one run-on sentence.
I love it. Can you speak and run on sentence? Or is that anyway? No,
They did.
The reason, I texted you about that because your story came to mind, and then I was at a hole in the wall kind of shop little thing in the Smokies, and they had a competitor of toast, and I just happened to, I said, hey, how do you like your point of sale system? It's fine, I guess. I was like, well, how does it help y'all operate? Don't know. And I was like, you literally know how to touch the screen, flip it around, let me sign it, and flip it back. And that's all they know, right? And it just brought to mind this, like, because I've heard you talk about how much Toast has done for you and just from an inventory management standpoint and those kinds of things. And I know there's a couple places here in town where I've known a couple of folks who have worked behind the counter, and they'll talk about how great it is, the handhelds and all the stuff. And this person clearly had, I don't even know if they really understood the term of point of sale system, because they were just dumbfounded. And here I was just making small talk, well, while the machine caught up or whatever. But it cracked me up because to a certain extent, you need the technology. B, and you were also fresh off the advisory trip that you took. So like all this was fresh in my mind, right? After we had talked. Yeah. And you need the technology, but you also need an employee who, even if they haven't bought into the business, they at least know something about the business.
They got to be able to educatedly speak about it. It's funny you say that because after that experience I had, I'm back in my restaurant. Like, everybody know that I'm the owner, right? Like, y'all know, what my name is.
If somebody asks for me, you can refer me.
You can tell them who I am, right? Right? You can, like, get their name and number. I'll call them,
right?
Or give them my cell phone. Like, I mean, whatever. Just like tell them to call me. Like, let's have a conversation. But it's. I keep going into these local places, and by no means do I think I have it figured out on how to run a restaurant.
I think you're the first to admit that you still are learning.
Oh, very much so. And trying to learn every day.
Right.
And scared that I'm going to fail within the next 12 hours. Like it's always, I'm always like, balance. How am I? Okay, let's keep going. And grinding things out. But, like, I go into these restaurants, and not that the TVs are on the wrong channel that I would have them on.
Right.
Like playing Ratatouille in a upscale casual place. But the TVs just don't work.
Right.
Or, the place is dirty. Or there's ants crawling on you.
Right.
Like.
Take care of the basics.
I mean, like you own a restaurant.
Right. Right.
Like it's got to be clean.
Yeah.
Food's got to be good.
I always think it's funny when some people
gotta be nice.
Get worked up over, well, the chairs don't match, or there's a broken tile in the floor, which I don't want a broken tile. But my point, though, is
all of that stuff is important. Yes.
Correct.
But as we say about baseball, there's more importanter things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's
but I want my person, whether it's a cashier or a server or to whatever level it is, they should, to a certain respect, know enough about the business that they can confidently speak with it. Or if they don't know, confidently say, hey, I don't have that question, but I'll actually find out for you. Yeah. And say that with a little bit of oomph to it. And you may have to
let me get my manager.
Right, something.
I don't know. Owner's not here right now.
But just to sweep you out the door for your $12.93, it's like, I don't like cool. But
here's the thing that gets me is you never know who's watching.
Yes.
Like you really don't know who's watching. You don't know who's coming into your restaurant. There's somebody in my restaurant right now eating and saying the same things about me. But I hope and I believe that my team, which is phenomenal, if they got asked a question, would at bare minimum shoot me a message, say, hey, man, ABCD, right?
Somebody inquired. Just want you to have heads up.
And I literally walked into a place trying to extend an olive branch that was free to help promote your brand
business,
and your business for nothing. put you in front of millions of people. Yes, thank you. Have a good day.
Please have a good day.
What? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just lost.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. What is the chance? What is the what if the owner's been like, hey, we're not playing the public game. Don't put us out there.
Possibility. That's true. But and there's people out there that do not want to do any media. Like they're not. They don't mind advertising. They don't mind doing,
As long as they're not in front.
Facebook and all that stuff. They're just not going to be the face, right? They're going to be behind the scenes. And I understand that completely. I've just never been scared to stand up and talk in front of people or get on a camera.
Have you ever
Really
shared the
talk about
story
anything.
about how you got your slogan, I'm your man?
I don't know if I have or not.
I need you to. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know you've told me.
Yeah.
So
Laying in bed at night with my wife. Yeah.
try again. That's not the story I heard.
Well, that's where it all happened. It's from watching what's his name, Steve Harvey on Family Feud.
Oh, okay.
At the end of it, at the beginning of it, he always says, "I'm your man, Steve Harvey."
That's it.
And it just kind of clicked. And I was doing something.
Your
Where was I
very
doing?
first TikTok.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm glad you remember.
Well, that's what you told me. I thought I had to remember the story.
Yeah, no, and when I was doing it, I kept doing it over and over again. I couldn't figure it out, and then I finally just said, "I'm your man, Charlie
I'm your
Eblin,"
man.
and it just has stuck ever since.
That's great. I love that part of it.
Some things work, some things don't. Hilarious story about that. My 13-year-old little Charlie makes fun of the intro of our show. He'll come downstairs and go, "Oh, what's up, Daddy? How you doing?" I'm good. "I'm your man, Charlie." And he's, just like being all boisterous and stuff. And it's really funny. So, but he's, plays travel ball.
Yeah.
And during travel ball, they do walk-up music.
Oh, please.
So
Please
Bear with
tell
me.
me you got that kid one time.
bear with me.
You did. You did the show intro on
The
that
whole
kid.
show intro.
Nice.
Did he know you did that the first time it played?
No, baseball got canceled, so we didn't get to play
Oh,
that.
so this hasn't gone out yet.
No, so he's going to get to hear that. Oh, it's going to be great.
That is.
I would not have done that if I knew he actually listened to the show, but he won't listen this far into the show, so
Right.
we're good. It's great. Yeah, it's outstanding.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Switching gears a little bit, and this.
I'm your man.
But you need to record that. Please do.
It's recorded.
Nope. Record him when that goes out.
The video
when
of
that
it?
goes
Oh,
out
yes.
of the PA system.
Yes.
I need that
Yes.
to be.
Yes, that'll be a TikTok for sure.
What's currently keeping you up at night
Oh, shit.
besides your shoulder pain?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just. I think it's probably the same thing that always keeps me up at night. And number one, am I the husband, father, son that I want to be?
Yeah.
And there's so much that goes into that. Am I providing? Am I supporting? Am I coaching, teaching? I truly believe my kids are becoming really good men. But is the business doing well enough for me to be able to give them the support and the things, the tools necessary for them to continue to grow? Do I spend enough time with my wife for us to continue to stay connected on a different level?
Right.
It's what keeps me up at night is, am I the best version of myself for my family?
That's good.
Is that not where you thought I was going to go?
No, it's
or where you wanted me to go?
No, I didn't have it where I wanted you to go. It was you're hitting on some sensitive nerves for me. I've spent a lot of time the past 3 weeks on that last one. Am I doing the best that I can?
Yeah.
And am I and what I have found is part of the hardest answer to that is just being truthful with yourself when you're not.
Oh, yes.
Because
yes, it is.
And as men, we have a tendency to shove it down deep inside. Let's not tap into that. We don't want to let that part out, right? And I know everybody does this, or at least I assume everybody does this. You pull up to the house and you sit in your car just for that minute and a half, kind of switch gears, get your mind right, whatever else, let go of the day. And I have really had to hear lately, just admit to self that not being my best, and not in the case of choosing to lay down. It's not quitting. It's just been realizing that I've let a couple of gaps open up. You know what I'm saying? And that I need to do this or that. And I always think it's funny that when you're in real valuable relationships, they have a way of coming to the surface, whether you want to or not. Mm-hmm. And what I'm really referring to there is, like your closest circle, friends and or family. But like, especially with your kids and older kids, I'm being more specific here. My oldest daughter's 19, my son's 21. And sometimes when those things just kind of linger a little bit and they come to the surface and you weren't ready for them to, and and I found myself trying to be ready for when those do happen. And my son sent me a text while we were out of town, and he was a little agitated at me. And I was like, hold up. And my response was basically, that info was freely known. You were there for the conversation where all that got passed around, whatever. And it turns out that I just didn't specifically go to him with the info. Mm-hmm. And that rubbed him the wrong way.
Yeah.
Now, the ironic part is we were out of town. All I could do was send that text, and he didn't respond. And I thought, okay, he's either pissed or he's just going to sit on it, and it is what it is. So we got back to home, and I'm like, hey, bud, we good on that? And he goes, yeah, it's fine. He goes, it kind of aggravated me that night. And I said, we're good, though? He goes, oh, yeah, we're fine. And so I found that part of self having to admit, maybe I did drop the ball a little bit on there. Am I doing my best? And so it's really like this week has been, and it's it's Wednesday, we spent all day yesterday with my mom and on that side of the family, brothers in town. And so like I've had these opportunities for things go on, but I've had to be honest with myself that there's a couple little gaps where I've let kind of a chink in the armor, if you will, just kind of like, better tighten that up. Yeah. And those things happen.
I have found, and I learned a lesson earlier this week, actually. And I texted you about that lesson that I learned, just not in the form that I realized until later. So
those are the best ones sometimes.
I texted you about a personal best I did this week.
Correct.
Right. But the lesson that taught me was that it's not about how much I'm doing. It's about how consistently I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that the last couple of days have really kind of been resonating with me on the fact of it's not same thing. How much social media I do doesn't depict how well my business does.
Right.
Or how well the marketing does. But how consistent I am with the social media depicts on how well my marketing does.
Right.
It's not about how much dollars you spend or how much effort you put into that one time. It's, are you doing that one thing every single day? Are you doing it consistently to where it's going to make an impact? It may not make a huge impact today,
Right.
but anybody that's ever tried to lose weight understands that going to the gym 7 days in a row and working out as hard as you possibly can has an impact on your body, but you don't lose any weight.
Right. There are times you'll gain weight in that.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody that goes to the gym 3 times a week for the entire year,
Right.
will completely transform their whole life.
Right.
Right. They'll eat better. You've said it yourself, right? You know, like when you're consistently going to the gym every single week, then you're consistently trying to better yourself that way. You don't want to go out. I did it today. We went to lunch. Everybody at my table, my wife and both my kids, got ice cream cones. And I was like, I'm good. When 6 months ago, I probably would have had 2 or 3 ice cream cones. Because that's all you can eat, man. Let's tear it up. That's free ice cream. But I indulge when I want to indulge. But when I can be disciplined and go throughout the week, great. If I drink a whole gallon of water today and then want to go have a Coke afterwards, awesome.
Right.
I did what I needed to do.
A whole gallon of Coke,
right?
And then having a glass of water, so you feel right.
Yeah. That didn't do anything for you.
No, my wife is really good about the consistency versus intensity, because and her analogy is, and I'm sure she's picked it up in other spots, but you can throw 5 gallons of water on a rock, you just got a wet rock. But if you do 1 drip at a time for 5 years, now you got a hole in the rock, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that comes to mind is the discipline will it should go hand in hand with the consistency.
And I think the intensity comes.
The intensity does come. Right.
It's kind of like a good friend of mine, Sean Walchef. If you are starting a business today and you're jumping into the social media side of things and you feel like a goober and you're trying to record and you feel like you look stupid, you probably do. Right. But it's true, right? Like, I mean, if you don't make videos every single day and you flip your camera around, you start filming, you probably sound weird to yourself because you're not used to recording yourself.
Right.
And the video is probably not great.
Right.
The quality of the camera is probably not as good as it could be. The sound's probably not like it should be. All of those things are true. But I never met anybody that started something and was an immediate professional or an expert at what they just started.
Right.
It takes time to learn.
It
takes time to grow.
When I used to do my Friday Feel Goods on my own before we brought it to the show, it was that way. And I'd get aggravated that the camera was moving because my hand was shaking.
Yeah.
So I bought a tripod. And then you start setting it up. Well, now I need a ring light. And then you get, a wired cord so that the Apple headphones keep the background noise out. And I can still recall this one day. I was sitting on my back porch trying to record a Friday Feel Good.
Yeah.
And there was this bird chirping, and I'd have thrown a rock at this bird if I could have seen where he was. I was so aggravated because for me, he was messing up the audio. Because now I've made these attempts to try to improve and get better and do whatever. And that bird was messing it up that day. And I was like, I need some headphones. And I did. And I got headphones, and that mic on the corded ones blocks out the background noise. So like you start out realizing those things. And as you start getting some traction, you get some discipline, you get some consistency, and you can go look at your first one and look at your most current one. We've talked about this before the podcast, where we were initially and then to where we are now, and just that movement going forward.
If you go back and look at the first 5 shows that Trent and I ever produced,
right,
the difference in me is totally changed. But even Trent's production is totally changed.
Right.
Night and
Right.
day.
Like, I mean, it's just it's a total different world. We're in the same room,
Right.
right? But it's a total different feel, total different vibe, total different production quality. The whole 9 yards has changed, right? So it's we just continue to get better and better. The hard part is staying consistent with that. That to me is harder than having the discipline than doing it.
Right.
Because if you can consistently go every single day, the intensity of which you try will get better and better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stronger and stronger.
Big facts.
Just my 2 cents. You got a mac and beans for us?
I do have a mac and beans, and this is rooted, and it's funny you brought up the that you passed on the ice cream. We were sitting there Saturday afternoon, Saturday afternoon in Gatlinburg. My wife's like, I want a cookie. I was like, a cookie? Like, by the way, do not Google cookie places near me in Gatlinburg, because every place is a cookie place near you in Gatlinburg. And we were trying to find something, hole in the wall, right? Something we hadn't seen before, whatever.
Yeah.
We find one. We go to Pigeon Forge. This cookie had to be 5 inches in diameter. And I told my wife, I was calling her out on this. This is not the mac or beans, but she goes, this is the best cookie I've ever had. Maybe better than a Subway cookie. And I said, what did you just say out loud? She goes, I said it, and I'm standing by it. I was like, no, what are you talking about? So I don't know if her threshold of chocolate chip cookies is really low or if just whatever her measurement.
Bomb.
I'm convinced it's because the lady by the Subway near us, if I buy my wife a Subway cookie, because I do know she likes them, the lady gives me 2. Yeah. And so I don't know if it's just but I was
time
hurt.
out.
Yeah,
people actually buy Subway cookies.
My wife loves the chocolate chip cookie from Subway, apparently, and she's only found one cookie better than that, and it's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So,
have you not had them?
Boo Boo, if you are listening to this, we got to make some chocolate chip cookies.
Put that on the menu. You'll skyrocket to fame. So
I don't know how they stay soft all day like that. It's something magical.
That should concern you. That's
Yes.
That should concern you.
Yeah. It's like getting a cheeseburger from McDonald's that doesn't decay after 10 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or what was that? You got a sausage biscuit, didn't you?
Egg McMuffin.
Egg McMuffin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Set all summer.
All summer long in his shop.
It
was just as fresh as the day he bought it.
Well, it was dried out, but that was it. That was
Put a little mustard.
Wise,
Put some mustard on it. It'd be
you could
fine.
have sprayed it with tallow and zapped it in the microwave. You'd have been good to go.
Oh, wowzers. That's gross.
But I did not partake of the cookie. I chose to get a milkshake. And I just wanted your basic cookies and cream milkshake. And the lady looked at me and she goes, do you want chocolate or vanilla base? I was like, I don't,
That's my son's question.
And I said I needed a classic cookies and cream milkshake. She said, good, it's the best one we got. And she based it in vanilla. So my mac or beans for you is milkshakes in general, not cookies and cream, vanilla base or chocolate base.
Wow.
Ooh, are we talking about hand spun?
Milkshakes, vanilla based or chocolate based?
There's never any specifics with this guy.
It's mac or beans. You can't have specifics.
That's tough.
That's a tough one, man. Because would you consider a Frosty a milkshake?
No, it's Frosty.
Okay, well then that changes things.
No, it doesn't.
Then I'm gonna have to say,
ice cream. Is it vanilla or chocolate? Milk topping. Milkshake.
A Frosty is a milkshake with just a different consistency.
You're off track here.
Yeah, we're diverting.
Going down the milkshake hole.
Milkshake holes All the holes.
How many holes can we go through today?
Whoa,
Whoa.
Oh, man, walked right into that one. My apologies.
Is it
All
getting
right.
deep in here?
Yeah. Jeez Louise. Anyway,
chocolate or vanilla?
chocolate over the pick one here, friend.
Now I have to go vanilla.
Okay, yes, you do. All right, no,
Is that the right answer?
I don't know that there is one.
Okay.
That's my right answer.
Look,
And here's why, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Vanilla, in its simplicity, does pair so well with whatever additive you like to add to your, like if you add peanut butter, if you do strawberry, if you go down the cookies and cream aisle, whatever. Vanilla is, its simplicity speaks to all that. Now, I will also tell you that Dairy Queen, for their Blizzard or whatever it is they have, that they up the name to it.
So do you consider a Blizzard a milkshake?
Oh.
You started to throw it in there.
No, I didn't start to throw it in there. I stayed away from it during the whole mac and beans. I just did say, though, that when you pair a Snickers with it, they put it in a chocolate base, and it's tasty. But
I was about to say, you could argue chocolate goes with everything you just mentioned, too.
See, but that's what I like.
Trent, stay behind the desk today.
I'll mute my mic. I'm over here.
He said, go back to your hole.
All the holes. Another hole over here.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I don't know. I just
That's weird. I like it though. Thought-provoking questions. Mac and beans.
seriously may have been our simplest one, and it's going to
I know.
cause the most controversy.
Look, here's the problem with milkshakes for me is if you go and you go to those places and they do a spun milkshake,
Right.
Yes.
those are good.
Yes.
But you go to the house and you take 3 or 4 scoops of that vanilla, put it in your glass, put the milk in there, and hand do it with a spoon. The consistency's totally different.
Right. No, I agree.
Right.
I agree.
And then
You don't have the warmth from the blender beating it down. And
yeah,
I get
and
it.
then you throw in some Oreos or Butterfinger pieces or M&M, whatever you want to put in it.
Right.
Right. That is a different experience than going to get a milkshake at McDonald's.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just
No, you can't go. Their ice cream machine doesn't work. But
when-
I got
It
one.
does.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
Do y'all remember Backyard Burger?
Uh-huh.
Their milkshakes, top 3 all time.
They were pretty good.
I don't remember it.
That was me and my granddad.
So it was
thing.
over
I remember Backyard Burgers. I don't remember the shape from there.
You never got one? Oh man.
I'm not saying I never got one. I just don't recall it.
Man,
I'm
that was
telling
me,
you-
me and my granddad. That was our thing.
Top
Yeah.
spot right now for
They're
me,
good.
So good.
Steak and Shake, man.
Oh, steak and shake.
They've
Steak and
got
Shakes
a
are good.
strong-
Shouts to Dave.
Now look, if we're taking it back to all time,
Yeah, let's go.
when we were in high school, the Barringtons worked over at Baskin Robbins.
Oh,
You remember that?
Yeah. No, I don't remember them working there, but
Okay, so they worked over there, and we would always go over there and get.
that's cheating though. They're custom doing that for you, because you wouldn't say the Baskin Robbins milkshake. You had to classify it that the Barringtons were making that milkshake and they put all the extra in it. Correct. Thank you. Anyway, but what we also did is,
he's on his high horse. today.
But see, they made that milkshake. The reason I brought
but you
that up,
can't go get that milkshake.
but they made that milkshake with cookies and cream, ice cream, not vanilla with Oreo pieces.
Fair enough. All right.
And like my son goes, like he likes the Sonic Blast
Yeah.
with chocolate ice cream and Oreo cookies.
That's fire. It's one of my go-tos.
But I think that's too rich. I think it's too.
No, I'm not
too
hating.
It
I
chocolate
does make you thirsty.
for tequila.
Then I got to swing back.
Well, man.
All the way back around to full
Now we're
circle.
trying to ruin the evening. All right. So,
Well, shout out to Backyard Burger. I'm pretty
I
sure
don't know if
they're
there's
out of
anything to shout out
business.
to.
They're
But
out of business.
Are they completely out of business?
I think, man.
I
Dude,
still
those
go back to
milkshakes are
classic.
so good.
Here's where I thought you were going when we were in high school. The classic Reef Saint.
Oh, come
at
on.
there.
Oh, man.
That's where I thought
They
you
still
hated
do
that.
it, right?
They do.
Well, they just came back.
Well, they brought
Because
it
they
back.
came back,
a year
and I
ago,
don't know
2
if
years
it's-
ago.
Yep,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's the same. I hadn't been back since for that part of it. I'll be honest, but
Yeah, I hadn't either.
that old soda shop.
That was-
get the
that was
stool
killer.
and
Yeah.
the
I
the
completely
straw
forgot about
dispenser
that.
where you raise it
Yeah.
up. Like that was hometown classics
Yeah.
there, man. So
Yeah, but look, the only reason I brought up Baskin Robbins is because
Dang.
they made it differently.
yeah, they did. The people that you
And-
knew,
and-
the same reason that when you go into other
And Adam McDonald had a crush on
so you're
Sarah
there all the
Barrington,
time.
so-
Sure. It's the same thing that when you knew somebody at McDonald's, you got 12 nuggets in the 10 piece because you knew who was working behind the counter. I had a former student of mine. I could order a pepperoni pizza from
Crazy.
Little Caesars, and no matter what I ordered, I only paid $5
Yeah.
for the Little Caesars pizza. Never walked out with less than 3 pizzas. I was like, this can't be legal. It's fine. We had extras today. I was like, that's not how this works.
Those good old hot and sweaties, baby.
And I was like,
Sweaties.
pretty sure this is against the law. But I was paying. I was a customer. I mean, like I was.
You paid something.
I paid something.
Yeah.
So
You just got the pizzas at cost.
that's exactly what happened.
3 for 1,
So-
1 for
I need one of them friends.
He didn't work there long.
That was short lived.
Chase, if you remember that, I'm calling you out. But yeah, he didn't work that long. So
Sorry.
do we need
Sorry,
to do
buddy.
a second commercial break real quick? I know it's a little late in the show.
I think we're about to wrap.
Oh man, I wasn't even worried about
I'll
it.
put one right there. Why not?
I'll put one in. Put a marker down.
56 minutes.
Yeah,
All right, we need a
got
quick Friday feel
we
good.
got like 3 minutes.
Quick Friday feel good.
Well, yeah,
No, they're all there. I'm good. I'm good for it.
we got a commercial.
There is.
Commercial's taking 38 seconds.
See what happens when I try to do production? Like, oh, I screwed it all up. We were doing fine until Derry said something. I came across a movie quote this weekend, and I don't know what the movie is, so please don't anybody like judge me on that.
Don't
There, you're right. Yeah, don't at me. But there is a young man. He's floating like on an inner tube or something, whatever. And his name is Zach. And he looks at Tyler. And goes, Tyler, am I going to die? And he's talking about crossing the river. And Tyler's response is, yeah, you're going to die. It's a matter of time. That ain't the question. The question is whether you're going to have a good story to tell about you when you're gone. Now, don't be a bitch. Let's go.
That's fire.
Make sure that whatever you're doing, they got a good story to tell about you.
Fire.
Y'all know what to do. Find somebody you know, tell them you love them.
That's good.
You know, it's funny you say that. I had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday, and we were talking about real estate. And I feel like people in today's world are not buying as many things as they are experiences.
I agree with that.
Right. So like, and I was having a conversation with somebody else the other day about just restaurant sales and how the restaurant industry is doing as a whole in this climate and the whole 9 yards. But I think people are going out of town more. I think they're going to do more things with the family and friends than they are going to buy a new car,
Right.
or going out to dinner.
Right.
I think the experience is taking precedent in a generation today versus 10 years ago when it was let's get house and land and
Right.
cars and whatever, boats, whatever things you wanted to buy. And I was telling him, like, well, I still want things, and not in a vain way.
Right.
I just want to live in a house where I can hear the crickets and the bullfrogs
100%.
and the coyotes and the owls. Right. I want to hear the rattlesnakes. Like, those are the things that are important to me.
We went driving on the Roaring Fork Motor Trail. And you can get out and walk some of the trails if you want to, but you can just drive through. It's about 4.5, 5 miles. Nothing crazy. You can literally be up there, and within about 30 seconds, roll all your windows down. You cannot hear anything related to the Strip in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
You hear the river, you hear wildlife all around you hear birds chirping, whatever. And other than the guy who was on his little rented Razor side by side who came flying up behind me, you don't hear anything except nature. And that, like you said, it's those experiences. So my daughter had never seen a bear. We saw a bear while we were out there this weekend.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just, it's that simplicity. We're on that motor trail and this turkey just walks right out in front of us. And I'm like, you missed that by about 6 weeks, buddy. But, you know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she had never seen a turkey that close. I mean, it was from here. It was maybe 8 feet in front of us. She saw that. And so those experiences are things that nobody else can replicate. You know, you can go to a restaurant and hope that you get the same thing that you heard so-and-so talk about.
Yeah,
But those experiences are definitely...
you can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you.
So I think the
sure they got a good story
experiences
to
are
tell.
important. So I'm kind of on the split train there. I want some things.
That's the age and wisdom catching up.
But I want to go do some things.
Sure.
So things work out.
Things work out.
We might have a few experiences that you know, others don't have.
Let's make it happen.
CMA Awards, G20.
Make it happen, G20.
I got some things on my list.
G20's wild.
How do you fill that out? I'm seeking national clearance for
Media pass for G20.
They
Wild.
might have to.
He doesn't need a background check. He's a teacher. Like he's
I'm pre-checked. Does that matter?
Yep. Ready to go.
You know, I mean, like, I got my ID.
That's it.
Good. I got the real one now.
Star and all.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Look, guys, y'all know what to do. If you want to get involved with the show, please feel free to reach out to me directly at charlie@singletreebbq.com. You can call me if you feel like it at 615-307-0120. And until next time, guys, we'll see you then.
Y'all be good.
Thanks for joining us today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, leave us a 5-star review and come see us at the restaurant.